Okay, so I'm ready to forage for some wild garlic or vuminji. So what you need when you're foraging for stuff is a container to put it in and a pair of scissors to cut it. So I'll be going down into this area to forage for some, and I'll get back to you. But what I'll do is give you an example of the type of wild garlic you will need to be foraging for at this time because it's just March. So it's still early in the season. So you have to look for the ones that are mostly fit at this time because sometimes it's possible, well, most times it's possible to get the early wild garlic. The early wild garlic is the bunch that's ready for harvesting at this season because they start growing early, maybe um, January going into February. So some of them be ready by now. So I'm going to cut a bunch and let you see what it's like early March because today is the 2nd of March, right? And I'll show you an example of the ones that are best for foraging now. They do get taller, but chances are within a week or two, some of them will start to flower already. But there are plenty of tiny ones that will grow through until April going into May. So it's the early bunches that I'm looking for, the fitter ones. So I'm going to cut a bunch and show you, and then I'll continue with the cutting. Okay, so here's an example of early March wild garlic or vuminji. You notice it's quite short. Now, as mentioned, some of them get to this height, but not on in all cases. It depends on the bunch that's growing. Sometimes it's almost like lottery. But chances are some of them can grow this tall. But some of them don't. They start to flower quite early. So this is a good height. Notice I've cut with the scissors, cut to here. So most of the dirt is already away. But obviously you have to wash your vegetables. When you forage for stuff, anything you have to wash it. So now I'll put it in the container. But when you put it in a container, and I from experience working with bunches of vegetables, it's good to keep the end at one side, either this way or that way. So in the container, you want to have all the stems going that way, fill this side, and then you start working on this side and put the next bunches of stem of wild garlic with the stem this way. So in the middle the leaves are, because what it means is when you're getting ready to wash it, all you have to do is to take out the bunches like this and put them in the water, and then it's easier to wash. If they are crisscrossing each other, it's very difficult, but have all the stems at one end and it becomes easier to wash. But also it's easier to fit in the container that way. Yes? So I'm going to take the container and continue, and I'll get back to you shortly. Okay, so here we are after a few cuts and it's already full. As you can see, one way on this end, all the stems section is on this side. Also, if you turn this around again, all the stem sections are on this side. So it means that when I'm taking the leaves out, I can take them out like this in a bunch. See it? All the stems are on one side. If I turn it around this way, I can take it out the same way. Put it in the water. So it depends on the size of your sink. You can put sufficient water and start with one bunch so you can wash it thoroughly. And then you start the second half. So that's why it's good to have all the stems um, in one direction going this way, and also a second bunch in this direction where the stem is in this direction, so you can take that up afterwards and in the water to wash. Makes life easier. Pair of scissors, you put it back in the container and you close it. Ta-da! And that's foraging season started. The commencement of foraging for 2026. Wild garlic or wominji. Thanks for following me. Um, sorry, my camera. I have to sort of put my camera um, in the position that it's in at the moment because I don't have the Head Pro anymore that I used to have to vlog. But I get one in the future, so it's easier to follow me as I'm cutting the stuff. But nonetheless, I've got the wild garlic, and um, hopefully before the week is through, I'll make a recipe out of it and post it on YouTube. Thank you.